What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm super excited. Like, seriously, I don't think I've been this excited for Pokemon in a long time to show you a new take on hyper-aggression made exclusively for Crown Tundra. You know, we talk a lot about hyper-aggression on this channel, and a lot of people always think hyper-aggression is going fast, hitting hard and hitting fast. It's not necessarily that. It's about having the correct control to make it so whenever your opponent wants to try and switch defensively, ally switch, hard switch, or literally do any sort of play defensively, you punish them for being defensive and make it so you still maintain that control and to where their defensive plays can never really get them in a favorable position. You know, through the use of items like the terrain extend this entity, if they're trying to wait out your psychic terrain so then they can go for a lot of priority attacks like fake out, terrain extender makes it so they can't. If they're trying to gain speed control or if they're trying to go first, you can use a lot of cool tech like Zapdos using the max airstream boosted of Hurricane, or even an Azelf boosted max strike off of off of Explosion to make it so they can't do that speed control. You can see the way this team works is it has a little bit of redirection, it has a little bit of Trick Room if you need it, but more importantly, it has the Azelf or the Zapdos. And the way you're going to play both these mons is you can go for the Dynamax on both of them and go for that speed control. You're going to be able to max strike your opponents to lower their speed, and then that allows you to go with a Choice Specs, Dragon's Maw, Dragon Energy Regidrago, or a Choice Band Sheer Force regular Darmanitan. And believe it or not, most teams just can't deal with this. All those teams that are like Feeny and Tornadus, like if they want to go Tornadus, you just lead into these Zapdos and you start setting your own airstreams, because 3 airstreams beats 1 Tailwind. And there's not really that much they can do about it. You get a Misty Seeds boost on your Zapdos. Zapdos has really good coverage. You can play a little bit of the longer game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this rental code. This team has been an absolute pleasure to play. I'm going to leave the website where I actually found the team. There are a bunch of really cool teams there as well. And I really just think this team is a breath of fresh air for, you know, Crown Tundra. I feel that a lot of the people that watch my videos, they're like, THATSA hates this format. There's too many legendaries. It feels so oppressive. This team really does show that all of us just aren't working hard enough, me included. So I'm going to use this as an inspiration to try to think outside the box a little bit more, because Azelf's one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm super excited to use Regidrago. Y'all know I love Darmanitan, and we've been using a lot of Stakataka. So this team is a fresh take on some old ideas, and hopefully you like it. Let's get right into the battles. Here we go. All right, we're going up against a really popular rental code. This is the Blaziken team that top cut the recent Victory Road Challenge. I was actually thinking about using that Blaziken code the next time I stream, but let's see if we can deal with it. That team seems a little bit weak to some of what we have going here. There is a Feeny, so it's going to be super hard to use a Regidrago, but I think we're going to go big Azelf this time. I think like Azelf is really good here because it outspeeds so many of those mons. It does outspeed the Lando, does outspeed the base Blaziken. We go for those big back strikes, boosted off of Explosion. We are speed tying Zapdos. I really don't know what they're going to be doing with that. Let me think if I want to bring the Darm, because if I go immediately into a max strike and just go for the big banded Flare-Bliss, it's super nice. And then maybe we bring the Indeedee to be able to preserve the Azelf, so we can go for like Follow Me's. And then from there, I think we can sweep with Regidrago. We are disrespecting that Feeny quite a bit if we want to go Regidrago over Zapdos, though. But like Zapdos is so bad versus Lando that I really think the Lando is a little bit more valuable. So let's see what we can get done. Let's see what we can get done. Big Azelf. Azelf, for those guys that might not know, actually, is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon. I was super big into competitive singles, like Gen 4 OU, and Azelf was by far and away the best lead. In all of Gen 4, it can set weather, it can set hazards, it can go taunt, explosion. Actually, a little known surprise fact, explosion used to have a secondary effect where it cut the defenses of everything that it hit. So explosion used to deal like double damage. You used to be able to just put explosion on everything. It used to be a TM, and anything that used explosion would just one-shot everything. That is no longer the case, but you know, explosion still makes for a really good max move. Let's go for this. We're going to be going for the Dynamax. The Dynamax 150 base power explosion, and we're actually doing this, we're going to be doing the max strike just to be able to get the speed drop immediately, because both of our Pokemon do outspeed this, and then we're going to be going for a massive Earthquake here. Banded Earthquake should be enough to pick up a KO on Blaziken. I probably should be doubling into the Blaziken slot, but I think the Blaziken's probably going to protect, so we want to do this to maintain speed control. And remember, since Azelf has that Levitate, this Earthquake's not going to make any connections. Let's see if it's Landorus here. I don't really care if it's Landorus. Feeny coming in here, so no Spores. We're actually just going to be able to get the Amoonguss immediately off of the board. And this is just great. He's setting a terrain. It's not really that important. But I think we're in a really, really good spot here. Worst case scenario, I guess we're wasting some of our max turns. But a lot of people always think you need to go fast and then use Airstream. But a lot of people really sleep on the fact that, like, Max Strike is just a solid option most of the time. Max Strike lowers their speed, and it gives kind of the same effect as raising yours, except for you have to keep reapplying speed drops to new Pokemon that get sent out. I would say that it is technically better to go for Airstreams, but Azelf can't get Airstream where it can get Max Strike. He's going to go for the Protect, which is actually a pretty smart play. We are going to be able to do some really good damage in that slot regardless. And let's see how much damage this Earthquake does to the Feeny. I really don't mind, like, going into that Feeny next turn. I think we're actually going to go for the, since we already have the speed drop, let's see if this can do over half to the Feeny. If this can do over half to the Feeny, we're in a good spot. If it can do like 40% of the Feeny, we're still in a good spot as well, because we're going to be able to one-shot that Amoonguss next turn with the big Psychic attack. So let's see. Remember, this is a banded Darmanitan. Banded. That's a little bit low, but a single target one might be able to get it done. You can assume he's going to go for the Rage Powder here. I guess we could force the Rage Powder, or we could just target the Amoonguss with this terrain, and then go for the single target Earthquake into the Feeny, and I think that might be enough. Yeah, I think we just want to stay here. It sucks we're wasting our max turns, but I think that Darm still has like enough in the tank to be able to deal with like whatever really comes out. We'll see though. Protect on Amoonguss is really, really nice. I always say you should run Protect on your Amoonguss. So it looks like he's not maxing. He does go for the Rage Powder. Cool. So we're going to be able to take away his terrain, which is pretty good. And let's just go for some damage. So Mindstorm should be able to get the big KO here. Remember, we are using a Life Orb Azelf. It's so big. And let's see if we can one-shot this Feeny. I don't think that we can. Maybe we'll get a crit. Like, what's he going to do? Muddy Water? Like I really care. You know, it doesn't really matter. If anything, we've taken away your terrain to make it so when I send in my Regidrago, I will be able to just hit you in the face super hard. So let's see. Almost. All right, let's see if we're pocketing a Pinch Berry. Looks like we're not. And like I said, it's completely fine that we're taking this guy out because we're just going to be able to Max Strike and go for the Regidrago next turn. I think we want a Regidrago. This is our last turn max. Regidrago seems like the sauce. We can one-shot the Feeny from here, or we could go for an attack on the Blaziken. I think it's actually just better. Oh, it's Bisharp. So he has Blaziken in the back. Our last one is Indeedee. I actually think this is pretty good. That means we don't technically have to go for like anything weird. Like, I guess you still kind of want to Max Strike, but like we don't really know. This is a really hard one. Because I don't know if I could one-shot that Bisharp with the Dragon Eruption. I guess you could Sucker Punch my Azelf too. That'd be really lame because we are levitated. I just didn't think he'd have the Azelf right there. Or sorry, I didn't think he'd have the Bisharp. Let's see. It's not worth a Max Strike to give him the Sucker Punch boost, because he's probably sashed as well. I think we just have to Mindstorm this Feeny and go for the Dragon Energy. Yeah, let's go. Dragon Energy, Choice Specs Regidrago. Let's see if we can one-shot this guy. Sucker Punch, please don't kill me. Yo, talk about living it up right now. Mindstorm. If we can OHKO this Bisharp, actually even if we can't OHKO the Bisharp, we're going to be able to take the Feeny out. It's going to be single target Dragon Energy. Legit, our last Mon is an Indeedee. We're just going to go protect Regidrago. Even if we clock, even if like we don't, there has to be some sort of big AoE coming out from this Blaziken to even think about having a shot here. So let's see, big Dragon Energy, let's go. My first time ever using this attack. Big damage. Yo, sashes up on that Bisharp. And we got the crit. Yeah, we didn't even need it. Didn't even need it. This guy's probably thinking like, how dare you bring a Regidrago to fight against, you know, Feeny, but it looks like it was the right play. This team is super aggressive. And from here, I think we just like protect. Because like, I don't really know. It's really hard to say exactly how this is supposed to go. I don't know if this is exactly what we should be doing here. Because like we could obviously follow me, but I don't know if Regidrago outspeeds a Bisharp. Makes it part of me wishes that I actually did use the Max Strike, because I know I would outspeed the Bisharp and then I could just go follow me and be fine. But I am going to go for the follow me Dragon Energy. If we outspeed the Bisharp, that's dope. If we don't outspeed the Bisharp, we're sad, because he's probably going to protect here. He's probably maxing as well. I would not be surprised to see Max Blaziken here. Blaziken will outspeed these guys, but I don't think Blaziken just one-shots Indeedee. Part of me, if this was Sash Indeedee, I think we'd be fine, but we're not, you know, so we gotta maybe get a little bit lucky. We got a Choice Specs, 150 base power move. It feels like we're Torkoal right now. Boosted by the ability, too. It's super nice. So we're going for Protect Bisharp. I think that's totally fine. Again, he's doing that to elongate the amount of time that I'm doing split damage instead of single target damage. And I don't think that Blaziken just one-shots this thing. I really don't. So let's see it. Goes for the max lightning to take away terrain so we can go for Sucker Punch. That's pretty smart. That's pretty smart, I would say. But let's see how well Blaziken even eats this. Are you Life Orb? I think that's an Orb Blaziken on that rental code. And let's see it. The Orb, we take those. Big Dragon Energy Specs numero dos. Can we just one-shot your Blaziken, Chief? Oh my goodness, we just one-shot, yo, the crits from downtown Regidrago. Guys, someone help me out here. Go to Pokemon Showdown. Plug in Choice Specs, Regidrago, Dragon Energy. Make sure you have the correct ability. I want to see how much damage that would have done to just a regular Blaziken that already taken one tick of Life Orb. Someone help me out with that calc. But you know what? We win. We are going to win. This Bisharp, he ain't ready. He's not ready right now. He's like, what? Yo, he probably doesn't even think I'm Specs. He probably thinks I'm like freaking, what is it, Scope Lens Regidrago. Can I get a third crit? Yo, show me that third crit. We just outspeed it. Yeah, it's dope. Regidrago is so good. Regidrago beating the Feeny team. And remember, this game started out with like Azelf, Darmanitan. Like, this team is the sauce. It's so good. So good. All right, that's a regular Articuno. Yo, Regieleki versus Regidrago, sign me up. I also really like that there's no Feeny, so I can just go immediately into, I can go into the Regidrago. This stops terrain, probably, unless they're like min speed Rillaboom. And I can just go for massive, just Dragon Energies here. There's no Fairy types, so I just got big damage. Do I want my Zapdos here? I don't really think so. I think Azelf is still an amazing Maxmon. And I would like Zapdos here. But like Zapdos takes neutral damage from Regieleki. You know, it's good versus Melodic, but it's not that great versus Rock Slides from Lando. Not that great versus Articuno if they already have speed control, which I imagine they are. I think we're just going to bring the Darmanitan. Because Darmanitan is that big one-shot mechanic. I just think Darmanitan, like, this team is just the coolest team. The more you look at this team, the more you start to realize the intricacies that it actually has. You can go for, you know, Entity Zapdos to go for, like, follow me for 2 turns, multiple Airstreams. From there, you just, you know, bring out your Regidrago, you know, apply the last Airstream, you can go first. What this whole team really plays to do is to really make it so its Specs and Banded Mons can do well. You compare it with Zapdos for Airstreams, Azelfs for Max Strikes, we have Redirection, we have TR potential. Like, this team really does have it all, and it's super refreshing to see, like, even though this team is still using a few legendaries like Zapdos, Regidrago, and Azelf, they're different legendaries, really, than what, you know, the core teams are using. There's no Landorus's, there's no Feenies. I guess there's a stock in this team as well. But, like, you know what I mean. We're using Azelf. Like, we have made a team that, like, dumpsters people with Azelf. Well, we didn't really make this, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's a rental code. Whoever made this rental code is an absolute champion of the people. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not trying to take credit for this team. Like, we found the rental code. That was the hard part. This rental code was not easy to find. So, Landorus and Cineroyce, you can go for EQs. But, like, I guess you could switch in, like, your Rillaboom for your Orlando and go for, like, a fake out of my Regidrago, I guess. But I'd much rather just go for the Specs Dragon Energy. I wonder how much damage he'll really take if he's vested Lando. So Intimidates are up. The double Intimidate. Yo, like I care. I thought I was going to lead with my Azelf or my Darmanitan. Chief, no. It's almost like I play the game. Now let's go for the Follow Me. Yeah, Dragon Energy time. Let's pop it off. I'm so happy that's a 150 that does, it can't miss. That's so nice. It's just like an Eruption. And it has its own little steroid attached to it too. Like, if you're not using like Rock Slide, Earthquake, switching out like your Landorus for a Rillaboom to reset my terrain so you can fake out my Regidrago, you're going to be taking massive damage this turn, my friend. Absolutely. Like, right now he's thinking about it. He's like, I'm about to be taking absolutely massive damage. And the cool thing about this lead with this team is this is not what the team looks like it's supposed to do. There's so many other options that when you see a lead that's this reserved, they're so boned. And the fact that he's maxing a Lando, I think that the Lando's probably going to outspeed, so he is going to be able to get a max Quake up, which means I'm going to do less damage, but then I'm just next turn going to send out like Azelf and nuke him. Let's see though, because like next turn I go Azelf. If they do KO the Entity with like a max Quake Darkest Lariat, we just send the Azelf, max Strike will weaken the Lando, do decent damage, and then put it in a second max Strike, or sorry, a second Dragon Energy range. Let's go Dragon Energy. Oh, we're just outspeeding it. Oh my goodness, that is so freaking big. It's just so much damage. Yo, like I care. That's a lot of damage, actually. Is that Orb Lando? Alright, so we're actually going to take some big damage on our Regidrago. I wonder if he's going for a Lariat. I wonder if he's going for a Parting Shot. Maybe a Flare Blitz. I hope it's a Flare Blitz, because I'm a Dragon-type Chief. There is Lando. Okay, I think he had to be a Life Orb to get that KO. U-turn. Alright, that's fine. I'm fine. I'm a Legendary. I'm going to do another one. And another one. Is it Rillaboom? Has to be Rillaboom. Rillaboom's such a good play here. Takes away my terrain. Reapplies Intimidate for later. Like, Rillaboom is good here. Regieleki. Okay, that's fine. It has to be Azelf then. But, like, Azelf is a... we'll see about Azelf. Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be weird. Because we have to go for the max strike. Like, we have to max strike here. And I think you actually still want to max strike the Regieleki. And just go for another Dragon Energy. Regieleki is a good play here. It's going to be able to outspeed my Mons. I don't know if he's going for a screen or if he's going for, like, an Electro Web or something. But I do think that Azelf's a decent Maxmon. He has that Incineroar on the back, so I do have to watch out for that. And the main reason we're still going with the max strike here is just so we can potentially maintain the speed control for later if we have to, like, send out the Darmanitan to still outspeed that Lando. So let's say Electro Web. Yeah, there's the Electro Web. See, like, it's smart to still go for the Electro Web here. Our speed's lower, but their speed's also lower as well. And I think that once we actually get, like, a KO, we'll be good. He is going to be able to get out. Oh, see, we still outspeed. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that Lando set looks to be HP and it looks to be HP and attack. And so you see, we both got Electro Webbed, right? We got a speed drop. He now gets a speed drop. We still maintain speed control with our Regidrago. I think that's how this is going to work because we were outspeeding last time. Yep. And we were able to pick up the KO probably. Oh, just kidding. He has the Max Quake boost. You know what? I almost played that right. I almost played it right. He's gonna airstream me here, and now he's gonna regain speed control. All right, this guy is on top of it. Landorus is a good mon. Remember, he is Orb, so he's gonna be taking some damage. He's gonna be able to bring out his Incineroar and go for a Fake Out and a nice double Intimidate. This is not looking good for our hero. Yo, is it gonna actually have to be a game that we win with Explosion? That'd be dope. Let's see it. Yeah, Regieleki was a pain in the butt there, but you can see the correct way to, like, re-speed control was pretty important. I probably should hit the Lando and just ignore the Regieleki. That's probably my mistake, but I thought that we had enough damage. I guess that it was the Max Quake and also not using a full power Dragon Energy that really, you know, was the not great factor here. If we had a Scarf on this Darm, we'd be fine, but we don't. So, like, I guess the only way that we even can think about winning is by, like, absolutely baiting him, and we have Max Guard potential, so, like, we have to do a Max Guard play here. Like, we have to go for a Max Guard Rock Slide, and I think that is really our only option at winning this game. What does he have in the back? Do we really want a Rock Slide here? Yeah, Rock Slide's still really nice. If he goes for the Max Quake into the Darmanitan, we will lose. So, let's see what happens. Survey says Rock Slide. Oh, we just outspeed. Okay, I'll take it. That's fine. I really thought that Lando was going to outspeed because, like, Lando does have a higher base speed than Darm. Well, it doesn't have a higher base speed than Darm, I guess. And you're right. Yeah, he got max striked and then he airstreamed. So actually, I forgot. He's at neutral. I didn't need to max guard there. I didn't even need to. But, you know, I still think it was the right play because, like, Incineroar could have definitely fake out of my Darm. I wonder why. That was just a weird turn of events. Maybe he should have fake out of me. Oh, definitely should have fake out of me. That was so weird. Like, max strike, airstream, electro, there's so many different forms of speed control happening that it's just so hard to play the right way. Now, we really don't want to lower that guy's speed. No reason to do that. Let's just hit him with an absolutely massive Mindstorm. We don't get the boost from the Psychic Terrain because we're in the air, but I still think we have enough damage to do some pretty significant chip. Yo, Azelf, one of my favorite legendaries. Put in that work, Rock Slide, making the connections. Remember, Sheer Force, we cannot get the flinch, but we do get big 1.3 damage boost. And the Mindstorm, we're Life Orb. This might be able to finish him off. And we'll take it. It's just that easy. So many different forms of speed control. Like I said, max strikes, airstreams, electro webs, so many different things going on. But overall, like, this is a really cool way to play an aggressive team if you want to play teams that, you know, if you want to hit hard and hit fast and use really cool mechanics like max strikes to make your opponent slower, to make it so your specs and banded Pokemon can do well, this is definitely the team for you. Alright, so we're going up into our last game. Survey says, team looks like top 1,000 player. We're ranked pretty high ourselves. Okay, that is the team that Big Slim used in the most recent Victory Road tournament, I think. That's just a really popular rental code. I don't know if Big Slim used the Comfey, but that's a really popular rental. Let's see how I actually want to deal with it, because it has fake out potential. It has like the Flower Gift, like all in potential. I actually still think that like Regidrago is really good, but I also think that Darmanitan is just absolutely massive here. You do have the Intimidator, but I don't think you're leading with Incineroar against this. I think I'm going to lead... I think I'm actually going to lead with like... I kind of want to go Zapdos. I kind of want to go Zapdos Darm, and then Pin, and then like we can switch in the Indeedee to block Fake Out, and then just like one-shot that Moltres with Darmanitan. And then we save Azelf in the back to be able to deal like big damage. I think this is a pretty good lead that forces your opponent in different directions. So if they lead in center, we can bait. We can switch in Indeedee to retake the terrain after they bring in their Feenies to block our Darmanitan. And remember, there is a terrain extender on our Indeedee, so that the fake outs, ice shards, things like that, they're going to be, turned off by the psychic terrain, but turned off for longer. And I actually think terrain extender is one of those things. Again, like I said, the more you look at this team, the better it gets. Like terrain extender actually is like the perfect item, because this game, like the way that you beat a hyper aggressive team is by protecting it out, redirecting it out, correct switching to mitigate damage, and waste the turns. Waste the turns of aggression, waste the turn of max, waste the turns, that you get from, waste the advantage that I get from my terrains and my weather and things like that. And so being able to extend that by just a little bit, it's super nice. So this is actually a super cool lead, I think. We're able to go for immediate airstreams here. Or we can just go like, we can just pull the trigger and go for like a max lightning. I think it's better to go for the airstream to give the Darmanitan some value. I think I will be airstreaming the Moltres slot and going for just a raw Flare Blitz in that slot as well. And Zapdos is a really good Pokemon in this team, because it has that base 100 speed, so we're going to be able to outspeed that Moltres, guarantee keep up the speed control. If you want to go for a self-policy proc, we're going to be punishing this super hard. And if you want to go for an ally switch, well, Zapdos will probably almost, if not, OHKO your Comfey, and then it will redirect my Darm into your Moltres. Remember, we're using that big banded Darmanitan, so we do have the damage. I could definitely get away with just going for the electric attack too. I just don't really want to. I think the airstream is much better to get that up, because he could also have like switched in Mamoswine there and went for like, to block my electric attack, and then went for like Trick Room or something like that, and then I'd still be in a bad spot because they just resend out the Moltres and do the same thing. So at least with this play, I'd get the double redirection into the Comfey, because this would one-shot the Mamoswine as opposed to like an electric attack wouldn't. So it looks like he's staying in. I want to see if he's... Oh, he's just maxing. He's just going to die then. I guess he could ally switch it. I don't really care about ally switch because we're trading with airstream. That's another thing. If you want to go ally switch airstream to like maintain that board control and then airstream my Darm, Zapdos still has like a huge advantage in this situation. And I almost want to say like I could just one-shot that Moltres with a freaking Flare Blitz because I am ready to deal damage. So let's see it. Draining Kiss. Yo, my guy. I don't know who told you that this was like the sauce, but like my team has the damage. And remember, the way that it works, the way speed works in Sword and Shield is when you get a speed boost from something like a max airstream or a tailwind, your whole team gets that immediately. You don't have to wait till next turn. So my Darmanitan, which might have been slower than your Moltres, it's not slower anymore. I'm now faster than your Moltres, and I'm going to be slamming in a choice banded Flare Blitz. I know that that's a full bulk Moltres. It's a popular rental code. He got nothing. You saw how well it ate that airstream. You saw how well it ate. Dynamax down turn 1, talking about hyper aggression. This is new age hyper aggression made exclusively for the Crown Tundra. Yo, respect my Darmanitan. Like, this team is so cool. This team is just like, I really did think that Pokemon was going to be boring in this gen, but it just shows that like you got to think outside the box a little bit. It just shows you how to think outside the box. Like, every Pokemon has the potential to be really good. You just got to make it good. And so let's actually think about what we should be doing here. I think that now that we have the speed boost, we want to just seal the deal, per se. I think the right play is to go for a max flare into the Mamoswine, actually, and just go for a Flare Blitz into the Comfey slot. I don't know if the Comfey has a sash, but like this way stops ally switch. And he's fishing for like policy trick room right now. So the only way that we're in like a really bad spot is if that's legit like sash trick room, because this is still gonna be setting the sun to make it so we can one-shot the Comfey. You don't want to flare blitz into the Mammoth Swine slot. You want to respect the ally switch, you want to respect the trick room. This will set the sun and make it so we can just go for the one shot. And Sash Comfey is still super standard, but I wasn't going to ignore the Mammoth Swine either. Yeah, he just gets one-shotted. Awesome. Correct plays? Yeah, we taking those. And like I've always talked about hyper-aggression isn't about just going fast. It's about knowing what your opponent can do and maintaining board control. From the first turn of this game, we exuded control. We exuded speed control, we exuded typing control, and then from there, we just kept targeting moves to make it so if our opponent wants to protect, if our opponent wants to switch, doesn't really matter what they do, because we have control of the board. And even if they were to protect, even if they were to switch, even if they were to really do anything, they still take too much damage to like come back. They take too much damage playing defensively to ever get into a favorable position. That's what it means to play hyper-aggression. You can see this Feeny right here. This Feeny, like, we're about to just four-stock this guy. He has, like, absolutely nothing. We have the perfect type coverage. He can totally go for protects. He goes for the double protect on the Mammoth Swine. It's not going to work. This might one-shot the Feeny. Yes. Yes. We'd be taking those. The Zapdos popping in all the tricks, using all of its moves. And then we're able to slam in our third banded Flare Blitz. Stabbed, super effective, boosted by the sun and Sure Force. This would KO 10 Mammoth Swines. And like, this guy probably feels so robbed. He's like, but I'm using the best team. It's like, you can use whatever team you want, but like, if you don't respect my options, you got nothing. So hopefully you guys liked this team. Remember, there is a code for this team in the description at the end, at the start of the video, so you guys can actually use this team for yourself. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully I did a pretty good job of explaining how it worked. And yeah, more people should make more creative teams like this, and I should use this as an inspiration to make more creative teams myself. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.